The final file opens, where every forbidden question returns to the archive itself. The last door carried no single warning, only the marks of every fear before it. After every forbidden file, one question remained. Was the book locked away, or the right to understand it? The last key waited at the lock, as if even knowledge needed one final silence. When the stone finally moved, nothing supernatural appeared, only dust, cold air, and the weight of what had been hidden. Beyond the last door was not one forbidden book, but a room built from every silence before it. Here, every fear had an object: a book, a name, a herb, a key, a page, a seal. Every age chose what would be remembered, what would be forgotten, what could be read, and what had to be locked away. At the center was a book without a name, because the last fear had no single title. Before it was opened, the dust had to be moved, as if time itself had been guarding the cover. One label called it knowledge, another called it danger. The page had not changed. Who decides when knowledge becomes sin, when healing becomes magic, when ritual becomes curse? The keeper was not a hero, only the last person standing before a question too old to answer. Some boxes held truth, some held fear, some held only the memory of who had sealed them. The most frightening box was not the sealed one, but the one no one had dared to name. The final archive returned to the nameless book, where every forbidden file seemed to begin again. When the cover opened, the archive did not answer. It offered a page almost empty. The page was almost blank, yet the emptiness felt less like absence than removal. In the water, every file returned as a reflection, fragile, broken, and impossible to hold. Perhaps the most forbidden thing was never the answer, but the right to ask the question. In the final archive, there were no demons waiting, only people, objects, words, and silence. The page was no longer feared because it was cursed, but because someone had to decide what to write next. Mankind feared the book because a book can remember what people try to forget. Forbidden, lost, sacred, cursed. In the dark, the labels began to look the same. The answer was not written. It was left as a key for whoever dared to ask next. The book was closed, but not sealed, because not every question should be buried again. The keeper stepped away. The key remained where the next question could find it. A dangerous archive is not only one that hides knowledge, but one that teaches people to forget it was hidden. What remained was not an answer, but the evidence that many answers had once been hidden. The keeper left the frame, but the questions stayed behind on the table. A closed archive ends a story. A cracked door lets the question breathe. The last page stayed blank, not empty, but waiting for the next question. Mankind gave fear many names: forbidden, lost, magic, ritual, curse, but the oldest fear was understanding. The nameless book remained in the dark, but something inside the viewer had already opened.
Some archives close. Others remain inside those who remember what was once hidden.
The archive did not disappear. It waited, as all hidden things wait, for someone willing to look again. Some archives close. Others wait inside those who remember.